Hello everybody. One of the most used joints that I use when building furniture is the mortise and tenon joint. So what we're going to do today is we're going to look at how we can draw that joint in SketchUp. It's actually very simple to draw. First thing we're going to do is I'm going to put this around here to the front view, and I'm going to start with a board that's we're going to make a board that's probably 4 by 8 inches. Just something to play with here. And we'll go around the back side of it here, and we'll move that around a little bit and use the push-pull tool to pull that out to 3/4 of an inch wide there. Okay. Now we're going to go around to the end of our board, and I'll zoom in here for us, and we'll actually make the tenon on the end of the board here. So we're going to use our tape measure tool, and tenon is going to be, we'll make it 3 inches long by 3/8 inch wide. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my tape measure tool, and I'm going to come down 1/2 an inch from the top. We're going to come up 1/2 an inch from the bottom, and then we're going to come from the edge 3/16 of an inch, and then 3/16 of an inch from that edge there. So now we kind of have an outline of what our tenon is going to look like. So I'm going to grab my rectangle tool and come over here and start at the end point here, the intersection of those two lines, and I'm just going to draw a rectangle in the square there. And if we kind of pan this around a little bit, we'll grab the push-pull tool, and we'll pull that out to, we'll make it an inch long tenon. And then we're going to deselect these lines here to get rid of them, because we don't need those anymore. Okay. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to turn this board into a component. When you're working with SketchUp, I always like to create a component out of the boards, because it kind of joins everything together, makes it easy to use, move around, in other words. So I usually try and make things a component after they're done. So we'll call this board 1. Alright, now what we're going to do is grab the move tool. Actually, we'll pan around just a little bit, or we'll go back to the front. We'll use the move tool, and we're going to slide this over a little bit so we can draw another board. Alright, so we're going to come back to the front, and what we're going to do is it's going to be like this. Tenon is going into maybe like a table leg, so the table leg is going to be maybe 1.5 inches square. So we're going to grab a rectangle tool here, and we're just going to draw a 4-inch tall block by 1.5 inches. So we're going to do 1.5 inches by 4, and then we'll go around to the back side of it, and we'll pull it out by 1.5 inches as well. So I'm just going to pull this out by 1.5 inches. And then if we look down from the top, I think you'll see, so I've got basically a table leg right here, and then I have my tenon board right here. So on the side of the board here, on the table leg side here, I'm going to kind of twist this around a little bit, and we'll zoom in. See if I can get around here. May need to move this board back a little bit more so I can work with it a little bit better. I could hide it, but we'll just move it right there for right now. Alright, so we're going to do the same thing on this board here. We're going to come down 1/2 inch from the top. We'll come up 1/2 inch from the bottom. That gives us the length of the tenon. So if we wanted to pull this board in, maybe and have 1/8 of an inch reveal, we would add an eighth to 3/16 to give us 5/16 of an inch here. So I'll pull that in 5/16, and then our tenon is 3/8 of an inch wide. So we'll draw another line out from there. It's 3/8 of an inch. So now we can grab our rectangle tool, come over here to the intersection of these lines, and then we're just going to draw a rectangle like that, and then we'll grab the push-pull tool and then push that in by 1 inch, because that's the length of our tenon. Alright, So again, like we did on the other one, we're going to just get rid of these lines. I'm just going to circle them and delete. Same thing on these two here. We're going to circle them. We'll do delete. All right, now kind of a neat little view that you can use is if we come in here, and we're going to use this so we can match these two boards up. This X-ray view that I'm going to show you will actually let us see inside the joint. So I'm going to come to View, Face Style, and X-ray, and you can see now I can kind of see inside the joint. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go look at the top, and it may take me just a second to line these up. And I'm going to grab my move tool, and I'm going to grab the tenon here on the edge of the tenon. I don't want to grab here because I'm not really lining it up with this end point here, which will be the tendency to SketchUp will kind of grab. So I actually want to line it up inside the joint to make sure I'm lined up. So I'm going to grab here, I'm going to pull over to the inside of the joint. There we go. And we'll just kind of look at it from the side to make sure I've got it lined up correctly. It looks like it's lined up correctly there, and we can pan around and kind of see it is lined up correctly. So then we'll turn the X-ray view back off. Come back to Face Style and X-ray view, and then there we have our mortise and tenon joint. So mortise and tenons are really easy to draw. I hope you found this tutorial helpful.